Good morning from sunny, nice and warm California. I heard that you all just got some snow. I'm sorry. That is maybe fun if you have a snow day. um, don't miss the winter. So, Miss Sharp sent me some of your questions and I wanted to answer them. And I put this on YouTube so that you guys can watch it anytime you want. You can go back and reference a question. If you didn't have enough time to write down the answer, you're good. It's going to be here forever. So, let's see. Cameron asked, how often do you see famous people in LA? All the time. And I used to get really excited about it. Like when I first saw my first celebrity, I think it was a character from Dexter, which you shouldn't watch that show yet. But that was really exciting, and one of the coffee shops that I used to work at, Mandy Moore was a regular, and she is just sweet as pie. Oh, she's so sweet. Oh gosh, I saw Kristen Wiig and Joel McHale and Colin Hanks, and oh my gosh, just the list goes on and on. I mean, famous people move here so that they can be closer to the work that they get. So they kind of just become regular people, and I like to be very respectful of them, and I don't, go up and be like, oh my god, I love you, la 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 la. I just kind of, I'll notice them, I'll get excited inside, and then I will treat them like a regular person. I'm like, hey, how's it going? Like, oh, this one guy, his name is Devin Gummersall, and he came into one of the places that I used to work, and he had come to a place where I used to work prior to that, and I got really excited, and so I just said, hey, didn't you used to go to this place? And he was like, oh yeah, do you still work there? And I go, no, I don't, I'm here now. And I was like, how you doing? And he's like, I'm great, I'm Devin. And I was like, hi, I'm Alexis, because I treated him like a human being. Inside, I'd known who he was since I was like 10, but but I wanted to treat him like a regular person. So like, if you meet a celebrity, just kind of let them be, because they're a regular human too. But yes, I see a lot of celebs. Last week I went grocery shopping and Fred Armisen was there. Ooh, that was really cool. Okay, also Cameron asks, what is it like to be on a movie set? If it's a big production, there is a lot going on. There's like the hair and makeup, trailers, and you have to make sure that you go in when it's your time to go. All the PAs, and there's people with the headsets talking to whomever on the other side of the set, and you just have to be like very, very respectful of what's going on, and don't interrupt anyone unless it's imperative, but like always go to a PA, which is a production assistant, and they can point you in the right direction. It's, unless you know the director, it's better that you don't just like go up to them and be like, excuse me, I have a question, because they have a lot going on. So kind of keeping it to yourself is better. Like the PAs are the ones that can navigate between the director and the assistant director and everything in between. So if you find someone with a PA with a little headset, that's great. But like, I have been an extra on I've been an extra in a feature film, which was just totally magical. It was the film that George Clooney directed, and he is a dream to work for. He's just very down to earth and super chill. Like, I remember coming onto set, it was in a neighborhood, and we're walking up to these houses, and there's this scene where we're in front of a house, and these girls next to me go, oh my god, there's George. And I was looking for this guy that was like really dressed up, because he's always in a suit and tie kind of thing. He's always very well put together. And then finally I notice him. He's just in a black t-shirt and Levi's, like super chill, and actually talked to us like we were human beings, because he started out as an extra. Yeah, he's just a lovely, lovely human being. I cannot say enough lovely things about him. That is not how all directors work. Some of them are a bit more brisk and just want to get the job done, and they don't want to really make a connection. They just want, this is what they want and this is how it needs to go. And in all of those situations, you just have to be grateful and thankful that you're there, because there are tons of people that could do this aside from you. Now, if anything is inappropriate, that's where you don't have to be grateful. You can be like, bye, because we're allowed to do that now. Wasn't always so. But yeah, being on a movie set, it's really magical, and I love to just take in everything that's going on, because I would like to be able to wear all the hats someday. You know, understanding how everything is put together. I'd like to make films myself, and I'll actually go into that a little more later. It's just magical. So I hope that helped you. Okay, Lily. I hope it's Lily. If it's not Lily, either way, it's beautiful. Do you do jobs on the side, or do you just get all of your income from just acting? Well, I am working toward getting all of my money from acting. I'm also a seamstress, so I sew, and I'm really great at it too. It's an invaluable skill. I started out like just making stuff for my friends, but I've also been a set seamstress on commercials. I do alterations. I make one-of-a-kind pieces. I collaborate with other artists to create these beautiful works of clothing. Yeah, I'm an all-around seamstress, and I'm really good at it too. I would highly recommend that you pick up some sort of trade or skill that can be done on the side from acting, because actually making money as an actor is not as easy as it seems. I'm now in the union. I'm a SAG-AFTRA actor, and there are a lot of rules that are put into place as a union actor. Like, you can't work longer than 6 hours without a break. If you do, the production company can get fined large amounts of money, and you can't work within 12 hours of work. So let's say someone wrapped filming at 9 p.m. You cannot go back to set until at least 9 a.m. And a lot of production companies don't want to do that, so they'll hire non-union actors, and then they don't have to pay as much. It's blah. So until you get big, making money as an actor is really challenging. So it's always good to have other things on the side. I have other friends that do MLM, like makeup sales, or like Tupperware. I don't know if that still exists. Like different small business, like multi-level marketing companies. I don't know if you have any family members that do that, but that's another option that can give you the freedom to do acting on the side, which is really great. So no, I do not make all my money just by acting. I recently just quit working in the service industry. The service industry does pay a lot, but when I moved to Los Angeles, I didn't want to be another actor who was a server, so I worked in coffee shops. It was a little more like, okay, the customer is over there, and I don't really have to deal with them aside from, what would you like? Great, bye. Because the service industry can be brutal, I'll tell you. So I just left the service industry so that I can do acting and sewing and performing alone. I can put all of my energy into it. But I built a foundation. I have a lot of clients. I have that freedom to be able to do that. I wouldn't recommend just going out and being like, I'm just going to be an actor. You do need something on the side, unless you have extra money somewhere. Like if you have a support system, you can go that route. But if you want to be more self-sufficient, I would recommend like building up this trade. Do something like, I don't know, if you can do hair, that's amazing. You can be a hairstylist. I know lots of people that are hairstylists and they do this. I know people that do, like, you can do social media stuff. There are lots of options. So there's the answer to that. What was your favorite role you played? Well, Lily, that's a toughie. I've done a lot of fun ones lately. Right now, I'm in the middle of filming this short film that is going to be compiled with 2 other short films to sort of create this longer trilogy-ish thing. I'm actually playing an actor who, it's sort of a play on what the film industry is right now. If you're not like the stereotypical beauty, you won't be taken seriously because you're not just drop dead gorgeous. Whereas, you know, if you have the training, you can execute what you're supposed to be doing. I hope that makes sense. But it's a juicy role, and I'm enjoying it a lot. We've been working on it for a few months now, and we're finishing it up shortly. So I'll let you all know about that when it's ready, because I think you guys can watch it. Yeah. Okay. Have you ever been in a TV show? No, not yet. Soon. I'm working on it. And when I am, I will totally let you guys know, because I'm going to put it on blast. I kind of prefer independent films, but when I do get on a TV show, I will totally let you know. Okay. Johanna, hello. Guten Morgen. So you were asking, how old were you when you started acting? Whoa. My mom would like to say right when I came out. But I started acting, my first acting gig was when I was 5 years old. So I've been acting for a long time. It's just something that I've always loved doing, and so I'm very thankful that my parents have been so supportive of me pursuing my dreams, because it's been a lifelong dream of mine to be a professional actor, and now I can say that I am, which is so lovely. It feels good. You also say, who is the person who inspired you the most? Or what inspired you the most? I really love Audrey Hepburn and Meryl Streep. I am very inspired by both of them, because Audrey Hepburn, just like her style as a human being, she was a very lovely, caring individual, and I like to portray the same as a human being. I also think she was a wonderful actress. And Meryl Streep is just a knockout actor. She is so incredibly talented. She takes on roles that can be odd and scary, and she portrays them so seamlessly that I want to be like her someday. Okay, Christina, how do you get over the fear of auditioning? Oh, you're terrified of auditioning. We all are. Like, truly. Everyone. If you aren't scared, it means there's no fight in you left. Like, I get nervous before every audition. It's because I care, and I'm so excited, and I just want them to see what I can do. So it's totally okay. Embrace that fear, because it's your ambition getting excited. And I know it feels weird, and that's okay. Like, everyone feels that anxiety, and I just consider it to be my ambition that's getting excited to go and show them what I can do and how I'm gonna knock their socks off. So don't shy away from that. Any tips for becoming a better actor in general? Yes. Take classes. Always keep learning. You're never going to stop learning about acting, because there are so many things that you can weave into your practice. I recommend doing warm-ups with your voice. You can do body warm-ups to get your body just ready to embody that character and to just feel dropped in. There are meditations that you can do to kind of help you get out of your head, because if you get nervous before an audition, a lot of times, even though it's your ambition getting excited, you can also be getting in your way of worrying, like, am I going to do this right? Are they going to like me? Do they think that I'm right for this role? None of that is within your control. The thing is, just bring yourself, because you have no idea what they're looking for. Sometimes they have no idea what they're looking for, and that's okay. You are just going to rock your audition, do what you do, and you're gonna kill it. But yes, always take classes. Take multiple styles of technique. I'm not really one to say that this technique is better than this technique. I have taken Stanislavski. I have taken Chekhov. I have taken Meisner. I have studied, different movement styles. Stella Adler was fantastic. Uta Hagen. There are many books that you can read. There are different classes that you can take. I don't know what is offered in Northwest Indiana, but in Chicago there are a ton of places. Take some improv classes. Honestly, on most of the audition websites that I see for submitting myself, a lot of them say strong improv. They say that because they want you to be able to be quick on your feet. If they need a little interjection, can you come up with something? So improv is great, but just always keep learning. That's how you can become a better actor. And be willing, like, just say thank you. This is what I was looking for. Thank you. Always say thank you. That will help you to become a better actor. Say thank you on set all the time to everybody. Seriously. Because you don't know where they're going to be in 10 years. Like, let's say if you say thank you to a PA or the person who is checking you in on the day, they could be a person who has a higher position later in life and can offer you something better. So being thankful really pays off. Caitlin, hello. What was your first professional show that you acted in? If we go to theater, my first professional show was in Rockford, Illinois. It was with, oh my gosh, what's the name of that theater? I don't think it's there anymore, but it's like New Actors Theater, NAT. And it was a musical review that I had actually performed in college. I went to college in Rockford, and the music director from the show that I did in college, he recommended me and one of my other classmates to do understudy roles for this professional show. So cool. I was very excited. I never actually got to go on because the woman I understudied was a total pro. It was just like regular theater, except they took breaks. Also with Actors Equity, there's like, I don't know what the rules are because I'm not equity, but there are rules of like breaking up the rehearsal period so that the actors can have a break. When you're not equity, you don't have to take breaks. Ooh, because they don't have to pay you. But that was my first professional show. I played, well, it was a 50s review. So I think I played Cheryl, and I don't remember the other character, but it was fun. It's called Taffetas. It's a fun 50s review, and if you ever get the chance to see it, it's really fun. It's the female version of Forever Plaid. I'm sure none of you know what that is either, and that's totally okay, but it's a fun musical, just singing 50s songs. Did I enjoy it? I did. That was great. What was your first experience on a movie set like? I guess I didn't entirely answer that. My first experience on a movie set was for Sweet Leaf. I was the female lead. It was incredible. Um, the director was a previous professor of mine in grad school, and I had actually asked him for the audition. He hadn't considered me because I'm so nice, and this character is not. She is very manipulative, and she doesn't take anything, you know? um, but I got into the film, and on set every day, it was just magical. I was so happy to be there. We would work through the night. We'd get onto set probably around 10 o'clock, 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and we would film overnight. And probably I would get home around 2 or 3 in the morning. I would be excited on the way there and excited on the way back because I felt so fulfilled and I was so happy, and that was something that I really wanted to be doing. So, I mean, there's that old phrase of, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And that instance totally made sense to me. Because I used to think, well, that doesn't make sense. If you love what you do, how are you never going to work? No, it's never going to feel like work because you're going to be loving what you're doing so much. We would joke around on set, on our breaks, and we were all super professional. It was very cold. We were filming in the middle of winter, like where you are right now. But it was a lot of fun. Getting our hair and makeup done and talking with the director. This is an instance where you can talk to the director when they're a friend of yours or a colleague or someone you know well. If you don't really know the director, let them do their thing. I can go into more on this at a later time. If you want more information, you can actually message me, like, down below the video and be like, hey, I'm Caitlin from class. Tell me more, and I will. Okay, Jonah, what is the coolest play you've done? Whoa. The coolest play I've done was probably Angels in America. I played Harper. That was, it's a really deep play, as you know. I also did Travesties. It's a farce. It's really funny. If you've never seen it, it mixes the importance of being earnest with Ivan Ilyich, and it's just completely and totally absurd. It's by Tom Stoppard. Highly recommend it. It's just so playful and fun and ridiculous. It's absurd. It's an absurd play. I just got to play around and be silly. I love getting to play around and be silly, because who doesn't, right? What else do you have? Jonah, have you ever done Mulan? There are not a lot of roles for me as an actor to play in Mulan, so I have not. I've seen it. I thought it was great. I loved it when I was a kid. But I feel like I am the incorrect appearance for playing someone in Mulan. It should be of the correct nationality. Have you ever met Chris Pratt? Oh my gosh, no. I wish. I know people that have met him. I've not met Chris Pratt. I've met a lot of people, but not Chris Pratt. Soon, I'm sure. Natalie, what advice do you have for doing well in auditions? Make sure you breathe. It's super important. A lot of times when you get super excited, your chest tightens and your breathing becomes kind of shallow. And hard to do everything. Just make sure that you breathe, you center yourself before an audition. Like when I'm sitting in the audition, in the waiting room, I like to just sit up and close my eyes and just breathe. And other people are going to be talking, and it's really annoying, but you just got to kind of zone them out, because you're not there to make friends with anybody. You are there to get your job done. If you're talking, how are you able to focus on what you're about to do? So, center yourself. Think, even like just going through the muscles of your body. Start at your toes. Feel them. Are they relaxed? Move up to your ankles. And then up your leg to your knees. Relax your knees. Up your body to your hips. Are you holding anything? Are you tight? Breathe into that. Let that go. And then breathe into all of your ribs, up your spine. Do you feel any tightness? Breathe into that. Out your shoulders. Down your arms. Your hands. Just breathing into it. Even what one of my teachers does, she says, put your fingers on the tip, like right at the tip of your shoulders. There's a little soft spot in between your shoulder and your arm. And if you bring your arms back, you can imagine that you have wings behind you. And those wings can carry you into that audition room, because there's no one better for that role than you. Now, obviously, you don't have to imagine that you have wings the whole time. But basically, it's just that idea of owning yourself as who you are. It just helps you to let go of whatever is going on in your life. Just ground yourself into your body, and then you can rock that audition. That's a really important thing, is to make sure that you're centered before the audition. Make sure you know your lines, of course. Because that will be a big tell of whether you, like, if it's an audition where you need to be memorized, like if it's for a film, you need to be memorized. Even if you got the sides the night before, you need to be off book. Because it'll show them that you can pick up the new script right away, because a lot of times in films, they will change aspects of the script like the night before, sometimes 3 hours before, and you need to be able to pick it up right away. So working on your memorization and just understanding the character, make sure you know who you're talking to, what the situation is, where you are, because if you can embody the area that you are in, that will help you display your character and portray the perfect actor. Like you will come off like, oh, she knows what, or they know what they're doing. Perfect. Okay. All right. What is the best part of being an actor? You know, on stage, the best part of being an actor is when you actually do it in front of an audience, and you can feel that energy between you and the audience member, like when it's going well, and there's just this magnetism, and it feels magical, and you know that you have made their day better in some fashion, and them enjoying their day makes you have a good day. So it's like this wonderful give and take, and it's just beautiful, and I do miss it, and I need to do more stage work. But my favorite part about acting on film, I think, is building the connections with the other people, because it's so important to, have connections with your fellow actors and fellow tech people, because you can all work together, and if you want to create something yourself, you can, oh look, there's another person that I can work with. How awesome is that? Pardon the helicopters. They're everywhere, like all the time. We've made it half an hour into this. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I just really enjoy acting in general. So just makes me happy. I think that's why I love being an actor, because I get to pretend to be someone else, and I'm an only child, so I used to play in my room and pretend I was other people, so it's just kind of like continuing that on in my life. Good questions. Thank you, guys. Justin, how did you become an actor? I was in a play. Like, you can be an actor however you want. You can, oh gosh, how did you become an actor? Because I was allowed to play. I would go on auditions. I would put myself out there. Sometimes I would make up stories myself. Like, you can become an actor any way you want. You can go out on auditions for plays or for movies. You can make short films or feature films with your friends. Like, you don't need a big clunky camera anymore. You can use your cell phone. I'm using my cell phone to record this. Like, I was on a film set where they used an iPhone and this fun, crazy toggle thing that it was like a gyro handle, and the cell phone sat in it, and no matter how you moved this, the cell phone stayed perfectly flat. It was so cool. And there's this special app that you can download. I think it's $15. I'll put it in the down low here. And you can edit a film on your phone. It's super cool, and it's way better than like the other things. Professional, and that's what professional people use, so that they don't have to go out and buy or rent a Red camera, because those can get really expensive. So you can become an actor any way you want. Like, the world is your oyster. You have so many options. What have you been in? I have been in a lot. I have been in countless plays and musicals. I have been in, I guess, around 20 films and short films. And possibly none of them you have seen. And that's okay, because I do more of the indie stuff. But I can, if you want, I can tell you exactly what I've been in. I'll send Miss Sharp my resume so that you can see what I've done. Cool. Ethan, how long did it take you to become a professional actor? It does take a bit of time, and you have to be super patient. It also depends on what you consider to be a professional actor, because I've been acting my entire life. If by professional you mean only like making a full living as an actor, I'm not there yet. And I actually don't know a lot of actors that are. Like, most of the like guest star people on TV shows that you recognize their face, a lot of them also have to do something else on the side, because acting doesn't always pay a ton unless you're a huge star. Professional actor, I guess I would say when I joined SAG-AFTRA. I became a SAG-AFTRA member a year ago, this past June, so close to a year and a half. It took, and I've been in Los Angeles for a little over 5 years now, so to pursue my dream super hardcore, I guess I would say that it took me 3.5 years. Yeah, 3.5 years from leaving Chicago, coming here, and doing my thing. And I know a lot of people where it took them 10 years from moving to Los Angeles to finally joining the union, because it's pretty challenging. I'm just fortunate enough that I had some friends who were able to do some SAG ultra low budget films and SAG New Media. New Media is this fun way where you can create a film. You just need 1 or 2 actors in the film that are SAG-AFTRA members, and then everyone, like, you have to do all this paperwork with SAG-AFTRA and get this agreement going, but you get kind of like points, kind of like with Actors Equity. You get these points to get you to being able to join the union. And I managed to rack up the points like in a really small amount of time, and then I got to join the union, and it was amazing, and I'm super, super thankful. It's a really wonderful, welcoming, caring union. If you get the opportunity to join SAG-AFTRA, do it. It's not cheap. It's a little over $3,000, but I had been saving up because I really wanted to join the union, and I did it, and now I'm here. So we're gonna say 3.5 years. Okay, Ethan, you asked that. Have you ever messed up on stage? Of course. No one is perfect. There are those times when your brain just kind of goes, oh, I just forgot my line. As long as you know how to get back into it, it's totally okay. Yeah, it happens to everyone. It happens to even the most professional of professional, because no one's perfect. I've messed up on stage. It was embarrassing, but for the most part, the people watching have never seen it before, so they have no idea. So if you just play it off, it's kind of like if a person is playing an instrument or they're playing an original piece and they mess up, no one's gonna know unless you make a face. So just, it happened, it's all good, just keep going. Okay. And Jacob, you're kind of in the same vein here. What's the best way to keep a straight face? And I'm imagining it's, to stay in character. If something is super, super funny though, you gotta get the giggles out. I had a moment on set once where something happened and it was just so funny. I can't even pinpoint what it was, but we were just laughing so hard, and we would try to keep going and we'd have to stop the camera. We're like, we're so sorry, we're so sorry. And you just have to let it out until it's just not funny anymore. If you're on stage, you just kind of have to swallow it down. Because at that point you have stepped out of the character, and to like jump yourself back in, you have to think, where would the character right now? If you can add it into the character, great. But it's definitely when you have stepped out instead of the character. So maybe just go back to centering yourself, breathing, and like figure out where you just were, and then just like muster through it until that funniness or the lack of straight face goes away. Do you do anything to keep calm? Yes. I shared the breathing techniques. Meditation is super, super helpful. There are tons of things on YouTube that I have used. Binaural beats are actually really helpful if you need something to keep calm. But yeah, the breathing techniques that I was talking about. Serena, how do you stay in character when something is funny? I just shared that. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta let it go. And it's totally okay. You know what? If you're in a play, something is funny, and you just can't control it, the audience is gonna laugh along with you, I'm sure. And if they don't, that's okay. It's totally okay, because you can't control everybody, right? Alex, how many years of training does it take to become a professional actor? Always. All of the years. Because you are always going to need to continue training. Professional actors still take training because techniques evolve and change, and it's really important to stay fresh and to be able to understand your characters super well. I mean, truly, I know a few other professional actors who are constantly taking classes, because that's what you need to do. If you're not taking classes and you're not performing, your acting is going to get really stale. So I would say to continue to be a professional actor, you just are always learning. You're always learning. And when you take on a role, you need to understand what that character, like what they do, how they live their life. Because now, if someone is a murderer, I am not saying go out and murder people, but do research about like how someone, like where that switch would be in their brain that would make them think it's okay to do that sort of thing. Or if someone's a doctor, look up what it's like to be a doctor, how much training they have to, like how much schooling they have to do. Like doctors are always learning as well. They're always, learning about the new techniques and this and that. So I would say to be a professional actor, the training is endless. It just keeps going. And I love learning, so that makes me super happy. I'm like, cool, I get to learn another technique or a new style, or oh look, here's some clowning mask work, which is different than like red nose clowning. Clowning mask work is this Italian technique, and it's beautiful and wonderful, and I did it, and it has made me a better actor. So like learning different techniques and styles can help so much as a professional actor. Let's see. Oh yes. In your whole career, have you ever done pantomiming? I have done it in class. It's not often used in film, but it can be. On stage, it's really, really great. Like especially, I did Our Town when I was in high school, and that requires, at least how we did it, that required a lot of pantomiming and like understanding the weight of a cup, if it's full or if it's empty, and how to set it down just so, or how would you hold this thing, or I'm opening a drawer, what's in there? I think that's, depending on the type of style of acting. Like in improv, pantomiming is super important. So I lied. I have done pantomiming when I did improv, because you want to make something feel believable. Like if you're just like, hey dude, what's up? Oh, my soda, it just disappeared. Like, I think pantomiming is pretty great. So if you're going to do improv and sketch comedy, that is super important to know how to do. So keep practicing it. Riley, do you enjoy what you do and why? Yes, I love it so much because it makes me feel so happy and fulfilled, and it's like I'm doing what I should be doing. That's how you should feel when you're working. You should feel happy and fulfilled and like you're doing the right thing. If it becomes like, if acting becomes monotonous and boring, I need to do something else. But my entire life, basically, I have felt super happy doing what I do. So it just makes me feel like a whole human being, and I love it. Did you know that you wanted to be an actor? Absolutely. When I was in second grade, I told my second grade teacher that when I won my first Oscar, I would dedicate it to her. And because I was so sure. Now I don't know if I need to get an Oscar to be, noteworthy, because that's a whole other can of worms. It would still be nice, and I will still dedicate it to her and my mom, but because I told her that I would. But yeah, I've always known that I wanted to be an actor. I feel very lucky because a lot of people in high school were asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they're like, I don't know. And I always knew. I was like, oh, I'm going to be an actor. That's what I'm going to do. Just do a couple other things on the side. What's it like to be an actor? It's hard. It's super hard. There's a lot to it. I don't have representation. I don't have an agent. I don't have a manager. It's all me. So I submit myself. You have to be on the acting websites that are available in your area. I recommend Actors Access. I recommend, if you are not professional, like if you aren't in the union, either of them, Backstage.com, Casting Networks. There are, I mean, aside from submitting yourself, you have to like find the auditions that are appropriate for you, for your age range, for how you look, and so you have to submit to those. You need to be constantly taking classes all the time. Like truly, if you did want to get an agent or a manager, their request is, are you taking an ongoing class? And they're not cheap, so you need to be able to afford those classes. You need to have headshots. You need to have a well set up resume of your skills, what you've been in, your height, your weight. Yeah. And you just need to make sure that you have, a monologue or two in your arsenal, maybe 3. If you wanted to do just stage work, you would want to have 3 different monologues. You want to have a Shakespearean or of that era, a modern monologue, and an older monologue. Like a modern monologue would be something that's a little more recent. You want to have something comedic. Maybe an older monologue, I would say Chekhov or something from that era. But like for film, you want to have a comedic and a dramatic. It's pretty basic. They don't often ask for a monologue offhand, but it's really great to be able to have. So those are some things that I would recommend. But it's hard. It's really hard to be an actor, and you have to deal with a lot of rejection, and I'm sure you know that. And it's totally okay to get upset about it, but also, like, one thing, I just took this class with this professional actor, and he said, when you leave an audition, leave the audition there. Like, try not to perseverate over what you did or whether you could have done something differently, because there's nothing you can change. That's something that was in the past. You can't change anything in the past. You can't change their minds about what they thought of you. You leave that audition at the door. You close the door, you're done. Oh, no, you're you. Cool. I'm just going to be me the rest of the day. I mean, that's something that was super freeing for me to hear, because sometimes I can get a little obsessed about, oh, I wish I had done that other thing. Why didn't I think about that? Well, because it was in the moment, and you can't go back and tell yourself, hey, change that thing. So just like let it roll off your back and you're good. If you have any more questions about what it's like to be an actor, please ask. Okay, Margaret, do you enjoy acting professionally? I sure do. The most challenging part of acting, I mean, kind of all of it is challenging in its own way, but I think just waiting to hear back about, well, did I get the audition? Or did I get the part? Did I get the callback? I mean, it has its moments of being challenging. I think just making sure to remember that I can do it, that remembering to submit myself. You gotta submit like every day, because you want to be closer to the first like the first round of people to submit, because certain submissions get like 10,000 submissions, and it can be nearly impossible to weed through every single submission. So you also want to make sure that you have the right headshot. If like, is your headshot showing who you are? Is it something that they want for this particular role? Like truly the headshot is the hardest part. And I don't necessarily like getting my picture taken in a serious manner. Like I'm always a person who's like, or like, you know, I like to cheese for the camera. So being just me, like, how do I look? Do I look okay? Is this, you know, can be a little more challenging for me. So I guess one of the harder parts is finding a photographer that you can connect with enough to be you and be comfortable being you, so that the picture can show you. There. Kathleen, would I be able to keep my grossly dyed hair during auditions or roles? Would I have to dye it? I don't know what you mean by grossly dyed hair. If it's like all multicolored, probably you'll probably have to change it, unless you like, if you have multicolored hair, you would only be able to audition for roles that have that kind of character, which is going to be a little off the beaten path, a little out there. And I'm not trying to like say anything about you. I'm just saying what casting directors look at when they see someone with multicolored hair. They're going to put them in a completely different category. And I don't know what kind of style that you are looking for. Would you have to dye it? Potentially. I am not really torn to any, or I'm not really tied down to any particular hair color. This is not my natural hair color, but it looks kind of good. I'm naturally like a dark blonde, but I don't like that hair color on me. I've been light blonde, I've been dark brunette, I've been super, super red, I've been light red, I've been dark red, you know. I'm open to changing up my hair color, and a lot of production companies and casting directors want you to be willing to change your hair, because sure, they can put a wig on you, but then they have to find a wig, you know. So you would need to be open to dyeing your hair for a role. Just saying, if you're comfortable with that. So, would glasses or contacts be better for auditions? It totally depends. I wear both, depending on the audition. Like if they're looking for a librarian type, I'm gonna wear my glasses, because I know not all librarians wear glasses, but for some reason there's this stereotype that librarians wear glasses. So I wear my glasses. Or if I'm supposed to be studious, I wear my glasses. Otherwise, I wear my contacts, because for glasses, when the lights are on you, I'm just talking about for film auditions, when the lights are on you, there's this glare that can get on your glasses and make it hard to see your eyes. And your eyes are really the most important part of acting on film. For stage auditions, do whichever. Just know, like they might ask, can you see without your glasses? Can we see you without your glasses? Excuse me. So be open to having them on or off. Okay? And what's the coolest role you've had? I already told you. Trace says, is there any major movie franchise you'd love to be in? The Marvel Universe would be pretty great. However, I would like to start my own movie franchise, because that would be cool, you know? I'm working with this production company through some friends that I know, and we might start our own franchise. We'll see. Amanda asked, did you ever know you'd go so far in acting? Yes, because I see myself going even further. I have this long vision for myself that I'm going to be, you know, I don't know if famous. I don't know if I want to be famous. I don't want everyone knowing everything about me. That doesn't sound very appealing. I like my privacy. But I see myself going much farther. So we'll see how that goes. How difficult was it to get where you are now? Very. I moved across the country. And that was super challenging. I was lucky enough to have a place to live already because I have family out here. Oh gosh. I mean, it's just never-ending work. I enjoy doing it, but it takes a lot of effort and dedication and time and support. Like, having a supportive family was so incredibly helpful for me. I don't know what I would do if my family weren't as supportive as they are, because they love me and they care for me and they want to make sure that I'm successful. So I appreciate them to no end. Finally, Ms. Sharp asked me to tell y'all more about the latest opportunity that they shared on social media. So I left the service industry, and my first week out of the service industry, I had 6 auditions. 6 auditions. That is a lot for 1 week, just in 1 week. And out of those 6 auditions, I landed one of the roles, which was so exciting. That is not the norm. Usually it takes like 10 to 30 auditions to get a role. I was lucky. It's a short film, and it's going to be put into the festival system, which I'm super excited about. I can't tell a ton about it, but it's a film that pays. So, yeah, it's this silly little film. It's called Stupid Cupid, about a Cupid who has trouble doing his job as Cupid. I do not play Cupid. I play one of his targets to help fall in love with someone. But I'm very excited because I think it'll be really great and well executed, and there's going to be like green screens, and there's going to be like this and that. It's going to be really fun. I'm super stoked. We actually start filming on Saturday. So it's Monday, so in like 9 days. I'm so excited. We already had 1 rehearsal last Wednesday, and we'll have our second rehearsal this Wednesday so that we can like get going and totally rock this filming. We'll be filming Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. It's gonna be great. But what I didn't share on social media yet, I mean, not like wide range, the following week I will be filming another short. I am going to become a producer with this wonderful production company that I was talking a little bit about before, called Ladies Above the Line, where it's all women run, and we create one-of-a-kind original pieces. I can't tell a whole lot about that yet, but I am super excited. We are probably going to be making more films and working together and doing the thing. I'm super excited, and I'm very, very happy that my life has fallen into place. Like, I left this industry that I didn't really like so that I can focus more on this industry that I love so, so much. Honestly, if you ever have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. If not on YouTube, Ms. Sharp can maybe give you my email address, and I can share with you. You have an audition, you don't know what to do, you're freaking out about this or that, let me know. I'll help you out. I only want you to succeed. So I hope you are all staying warm. Wear all of the gloves, all of the hats, all of the socks and jackets, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.